Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's declaration that a U.S. security agreement for Ukraine is 100% ready to be signed marks a pivotal moment in Kyiv's long-running effort to lock in durable Western support as the war with Russia grinds on and global attention ebbs and flows. Speaking with a mix of urgency and cautious optimism, Zelensky framed the agreement not as a replacement for NATO membership, Ukraine's strategic North Star, but as a powerful interim guarantee that would institutionalize American backing across military, intelligence, economic, and political domains. The deal, negotiated over months amid shifting battlefront realities and domestic political pressures in Washington, is expected to formalize long-term U.S. commitments to Ukraine's defense capabilities, including sustained weapons supplies, training programs, intelligence sharing, and cooperation on rebuilding Ukraine's defense industrial base. For Kyiv, the symbolism matters as much as the substance. A signed agreement would send a clear signal to Moscow that U.S. support is not a temporary policy choice vulnerable to electoral cycles, but a structured partnership embedded in bilateral obligations. Zelensky has repeatedly warned that uncertainty is Russia's greatest ally, and this pact is designed to reduce that uncertainty by clarifying what Ukraine can count on in the years ahead, even as debates continue in the U.S. Congress over aid packages and spending priorities. From Washington's perspective, the agreement reflects a careful balancing act, strengthening Ukraine without formally extending NATO's Article 5 guarantees, allowing the U.S. to deepen involvement while managing escalation risks with Russia. It also aligns with a broader strategy of forging tailored security arrangements with partners facing immediate threats, similar to accords the U.S. has pursued with countries in the Indo-Pacific and Middle East. Zelensky has emphasized that the document is operationally detailed rather than declarative, outlining mechanisms for consultation during crises, pathways for rapid assistance, and benchmarks for Ukraine's defense reforms, anti-corruption measures, and democratic resilience. That conditionality is important for sustaining bipartisan support in the United States, where skepticism about open-ended commitments has grown louder, particularly as the war stretches into its third year. At home, the announcement allows Zelensky to reassure a war-weary public that Ukraine is not fighting alone and that sacrifices on the battlefield are matched by concrete diplomatic gains. Internationally, it bolsters Kyiv's hand ahead of high-stakes summits with European allies, many of whom are negotiating their own bilateral security assurances with Ukraine and looking to Washington for leadership. Critics, however, caution that no agreement short of NATO membership can fully deter Russia, arguing that Moscow has historically tested the limits of Western resolve and may view non-treaty guarantees as malleable. Zelensky appears aware of that risk, stressing that the agreement is a bridge, not a destination, and that Ukraine will continue pressing for full integration into Euro-Atlantic institutions. Still, in a conflict defined by incremental advances and strategic patience, locking in a 100% ready U.S. security pact represents a tangible win for Kyiv, reinforcing the message that Ukraine's future security architecture is being built now, piece by piece, even as the guns continue to fire.